Good day, everyone. Our lesson for today is all about relationships, which is part of lesson 12, part 1. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and hit the playlist, the notification bell for more updates. Also, you will find different subjects in this YouTube channel. Just select the playlist section. And now let's proceed to the discussion about relationships. Since mathematics is essentially the study of systematic patterns of relationships, any activity which helps people to recognize relations is to be welcome. The following are the key points that can be made about numbers relationships in the primary years. An understanding of number depends upon the recognition of how numbers are related to one another for purposes of comparing or ordering. For instance, number increase as they move up to the right or on the number line and decrease as they move down or to the left. Number sense depends upon a recognition and an understanding of the patterns in numbers, particularly the patterns of the 1 to 9 counting sequence and the way in which these patterns is repeated in the decades and later in the 100s, 1000s, and so on. When children compose and decompose numbers and perform operations, they see how numbers relate to one another, and their understanding of numbers is enhanced. For example, students should recognize that 7 can be taught of as 5 and 2 more, or conversely as 10 and 3 less. Knowing that the anchors 5 and 10 are how to relate other numbers to choose anchors provides the foundation for work with operation and place value. Relationships in ordering and comparing. Evidence of an early understanding of the relationship between numbers is the ability to compare quantities in terms of more, less, or the same as. This understanding is related to the later understanding that children develop of the relationship of one more than, one less than, two more than, or two less than, as well as the comparison concept of part whole can be developed as students move through the primary years to understand the fractions and their relationships to wholes of varying sizes or amounts. Students who are confident at working with the relationships in ordering numbers on a number line can be used this knowledge in creative ways to solve problems and do basic computations. For instance, students who know the relationships on the number line can be used this information to think about 97 minus 29. They can recognize that the distance between 97 and 29 is the same as between 98, one more than 97, and 30, one more than 29. And make an easier calculation about 98 minus 30, or count up from 30 to 90 and then to 98 as follows: 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, then 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, and 98. So we can use this type of number line from 29 to 97 and 30 to 98, which simply 97 minus 29 is equal to 98 minus 30. Relationship in number patterns. Being able to identify the repetitive patterns of the count of 1 to 9 and then recognizing that this pattern extends throughout the number system helps children with counting and with understanding that fractions or actions on numbers, which is the operations. Conceptual understanding of number is further developed through the use of patterns on hundreds of charts and number lines. Children can learn to identify the patterns of tens on the 100 charts. Knowing this pattern helps them work with two-digit numbers. Other relationship patterns that children can identify are even and odd numbers, multiples of 1, 2, 3, 10. More difficult multiples, example of 11 and 25, addition of two-digit numbers, example adding 21 to any numbers involved, moving vertically down two spaces from the numbers and horizontally to the right to the one space. Subtraction of two-digit numbers, example, subtracting 21 from any number involves moving vertically up two spaces and horizontally to the left one space. This is a sample of 100 charts. The example illustrated in these 100 charts involve adding 21 to 25. Relationship in understanding and performing operations. Knowing that the relationship between numbers helps students understand basic operations. For instance, students who know the 2 times table can use their understanding of the relationship of 2 to 3 to determine the 3 times table. In other words, if they know that 2 times 8 equals 16, they can determine 3 times 8 by adding 1 more 8 to this 16. Similarly, the relationship between 2 and 4 can help to determine the 4 times tables. Example, 4 is doubled 2, so 4 times 6 is the same as 2 times 6 doubled, or 24. Furthermore, the operations themselves are related, and when students understand how the operations are related, they may find more efficient ways of learning and working with them. Addition and subtraction are related as inverse operation as are multiplications and division. Also, subtraction and division are related. Division can be repeated subtraction, and multiplication and addition connect in a similar way. Multiplication can be repeated addition. Looking at the relationship between these operations often can provide multiple approaches to a problem. Relationship to the anchors of 5 and 10. Children discover relationships between numbers beginning with the first experiences of counting their fingers. This finger counting helps them to see the relationship of the numbers 1 to 4 to 5. And understanding the relationship of 1 to 4 to 5 helps them to recognize that the 5 frame with counters in all but a 1 square represent the number 4. This understanding of the relationship of 1 to 4 to 5 is later extended to an understanding of the relationship between all the numbers from 0 to 10, and particularly the relationship of the numbers from 0 to 10 with the anchors of 5 and 10. This understanding is an important foundation for an understanding of a larger numbers. If students have worked with combinations of 10, they have a better understanding of problems that involve operations with larger numbers. For example, in adding 27 and 35, if they know that 7 is 3 away from 10, they can take the 3 from 35, add it to 27 to make 30, add on the 30, and then add the 2 that remains. This understanding of the 10 relationship can be extended to an understanding of 100s and the patterns for 1 to 9, providing a useful guidepost for learning how to count by 100s and then by 1000s. Understanding the relationship of other numbers to those anchors number of 5 and 10 helps students later understand place value. The relationships between ones and tens and 100s and 100s and 1000 and so on are important in understanding number and the operation on numbers. Using base 10 material or other proportional manipulative helps students see the relationship between these quantities. The base 10 material consists of single units ones, rods tens, flats hundreds, and cubes thousands. 10 of the ones units are put together to form 1/10 rods. 10 rods are put together to form 100 flats, and 10 flats of hundreds form 1,000 cube. Knowing the relationship in place value, as the digit move to the left, number go up by a factor of 10. As the digit move to the right, number decrease by a factor of 10, helps students work efficiently and effectively with numbers. It is important to note that Although proportional manipulative help students develop their concept of place value, the concept is not inherent in the manipulative. Students must develop the concept through interaction with the materials, using the materials as tools for building up the concepts. Showing students model of a concept, for example, two-digit addition, using base 10 material without allowing students to develop the concept of two-digit addition themselves is as effective as making them memorize as rote procedure without any understanding. So that's all about for the lesson relationships. In our next video, I will give you the different characteristics of kindergarten to grade 3 pupils, and the different instructional strategies that we can use to teach math using relationship. With that, thank you very much for listening and good day.